Hello and welcome to today's video. So this time we're going to be taking a look at my vintage Tron movie collectibles. So once again, a bit like my recent Black Hole video, Tron was something that I absolutely loved when the movie came out, but not to the same sort of degree as Star Wars. However, when I came across the bits and pieces over the years collecting Star Wars stuff, I would always pick up Tron stuff as well. And that's what we're going to be having a look at today. And I've got all manner of stuff. There's books, there's toys, there's games, got some signed stuff as well. So quite interesting. So sit back, relax, and let's get to it. Right then, so I thought we'd start with one of the sort of bigger items in the collection, and that's this. It's the Tron tabletop game. So I was always a bit of a fan of tabletop games, and I used to have an absolutely enormous collection of these and other vintage handhelds, particularly the Nintendo Game & Watches, but they are long gone now, over a decade ago. But I did always keep my Tron ones. So this is not in the greatest of condition. As you can see, the box is pretty much falling to bits. But it is an original, and here is the original sort of game here. Sadly, there's no batteries in it, so I can't give you a little demo here, but it's fantastic. It's a lovely bit of kit. I was recently in Las Vegas last November, so that's November 2019 for my birthday, and there was a retro arcade over there. It's the Pinball Hall of Fame arcade, and they had an original Tron stand-up arcade machine, and I played a few levels of that one and absolutely loved it. So yeah, still a fantastic game, and very pleased to have that original tabletop game. It's pretty cool. Now, next bit I've got then, this is something a bit more unusual. So this is like a press photo. You see on the back here, this is it's got the Plymouth thing there, and it was for the Plymouth Star. Printed at 54%. So that's a very local paper to where I live, the Plymouth Star. And these guys here obviously were brought down because they've got original Tron costumes on, it would appear, and that was used for some sort of publicity in the Plymouth Star newspaper. So it's pretty cool, isn't it? I don't know how widely that particular photo has been circulated, if at all. But it's certainly there now, so good stuff, that one. Next one is quite a cool little autographed photo. Got this one perhaps about 10 years ago. I'm thinking at one of the NEC memorabilia shows in the UK. To Jules, end of line. David Warner there, so how cool is that? Really nice. Certainly one of his iconic roles amongst many. He's a great actor, David Warner, but very pleased to have met him. So that's pretty cool. Now some more vintage bits, and these are they're not really sorted. It's just as they come. So this one here is a campaign book. So this is for the Tron movie. It was the campaign. So Tron came out in the UK in 1982, and this was any major movie would have a campaign book to show you all the advertising that was involved. So this is it. This is what all the terms mean. There is the original arcade game. The biggest tie-in video game wise back then was with the Intellivision. Certainly not a massive system even today, but I do have some Intellivision games to show you later on, which is quite cool. Yeah, some really cool stuff here. There was a game for the Acorn computer, it says. Here's some of the advertisements that people could use in papers, which is quite good as well. I mean, you certainly don't get these sorts of things anymore. They're all done via electronic sheets. So if you wanted to do a Tron competition, there's some colouring, there's some spot the difference, a maze program. Real attention to detail here. Window stickers, they'd be nice to get, wouldn't they? Then there's their own little Tron merchandise. So it's got some of the figures. It's got a Tron light disc. I don't remember ever seeing one of those. And then there's a plethora of Tron memorabilia there. So there's a Tron bag, a helmet. There's the Viewmaster set. Now, I've probably got that somewhere, but I don't think it's in this lot. Got the paperback, some of the light cycles. There's the desktop game there, and a Tron board game. I mean, fantastic, eh? And here's some more of the posters that have been released for it as well. And then there's the front of house set. It's absolutely fantastic. So if you have a look at this, if you get yourself the original campaign book, it's going to make you cry because there's so much perhaps that you might want to get your hands on. But that's cool stuff. Now, what's this? This is, once again, I think this is something related to like a press book or campaign book back in the day, with the compliments of Walt Disney Productions, 68 Pall Mall. And I think this is, once again, it's just a little, this was probably part of the campaign booklet, you know. In fact, inside that would have had a set of stills. So a bit of a shame that they're missing from that, because I don't have any Tron stills beyond the ones that I just showed you. But that's how it goes. Now, what's this? So we've got a few smaller board games, so computer games. So these ones here, the Light Cycle game, this is actually the same game, I believe, and these were released for the original Sinclair Spectrum. So one's a 16K version, and the other one is for the Spectrum 48K. And these were released on cassette tape, as you can see. Little Light Cycle game there, pretty cool. I doubt they're incredibly rare, because a lot of these Spectrum games sold an awful lot, but still nice to have them. And while we're on the gaming front here, so I've got some Intellivision games as well. So this is Tron Deadly Discs for the Intellivision. Really nice box art on these. They're superb. And when they were mint in box, you got the booklet. These overlays would go onto the controllers, and that was then your original cartridge. So that's Tron's Deadly Discs. And then another vintage one is the Tron Tron game. So very, very similar setup here. Tron, which is cool. Then I've got this one here, which is from back in the day, Tron Solar Sailor, but I've only got a loose one of that. And then this one, which is released a little bit later, it's a reissue, but for the Atari, not for the Intellivision, and it was by Telegames USA, and they did a bit of homegrown software, but this is for the Atari, not the Intellivision, and it's the Tron Deadly Discs game again, which is quite cool. All right, so yeah, they're Lancaster, Texas, and Leicester in England. There we are. So that's, I believe, all my video games. I have got one other, which was the Tron 2.0 game in my Xbox collection, but you know, that's part of that now, so I've not got that out today. Here's a couple of original figures that I've had since back in the day. There was 4 in the entire range. I've only got the 2, and these both came with like little discs, so you could have the fights a la the movie. But I've always had a soft spot for the Tron figures. They're fantastic. I don't know why I never got around to sort of properly collecting these Tron figures carded, since there's only 4 of them. I should have done it back in the day, shouldn't I? But there's a lesson learned. Right. Jigsaws. So in the UK we had 4 Jigsaws, and they were all published by Waddington's, all dated 1982. Really cool sort of artwork on these. I think I've got a couple sealed and a couple are open but complete. Really nice. 100-piece puzzles, and as I said, there's 4 of them, which I've got all 4. So that's the second one. Certainly a couple of these are harder to get than others, as I recall. The third one there, and there's the 4th one, and yeah, they are really cool. I love the Light Cycle one there. So what I think I do, because we've sort of filled up the area, I'm going to pause there, pull the camera right out, and then we'll look at some more gear. So now we've got the first of the action figures. Now these were the re-released ones by NECA, or N-E-C-A, and these were for the 20th anniversary of Tron. And there's 4 of these. And when were these released? I'm trying to think. It was back in the they are numbered, but that number is the number's sort of faded out. It's on like a hologram, which is, and that one's okay. So there's 10,000 of each one. But I can't actually see when these re-releases were actually done. But I'm imagining if it was 1982 when the original movie came out, and this was 20th anniversary, they were probably thinking 2002. So yeah, they did 4 of these. So that's the 4 original Tron figures, and very nice they are too, which is cool. And then they also released the light cycle, which has got the Tron figure with it as well, which is really cool. And it's really heavy as well. And yeah, they did do a yellow version of the light cycle, so you could have the two against each other. Once again, I can't see any date on these, but I'm guessing if it was 20th anniversary, then I'm guessing it must be around 2002. So they're pretty nice, aren't they? Right, next thing we're going to look at is the trading cards, or at least the box for the trading cards. So in America, not in the UK, but in America, they did release a set of original Tron bubblegum cards, and you got it was a set of cards, but you also got a sticker in each one as well, which was quite nice. And this is the original box. Don Ross was the company that released these. So this is just like an empty box. I do have the some sealed packets, but they're in my wax pack collection, so maybe I'll get them out on another video. Here is the original novelization. This is the British edition, and this one was published, was it New English Library, I think published it. Yeah, New English Library, the same people who did the Black Hole book. And this is the first British edition from 1982. Really nice copy of this one, it's unread. And once again, as was traditional back then, you had a little photo insert. And there it is, of David Warner. I do remember the book adaptation of this being particularly well written. In fact, Brian Daly, he had written some, he did the Han Solo books for Star Wars, and they're highly regarded. So that's the original Tron paperback. This was released for the first time when Tron came out on DVD. So this was the first ever DVD of it, and I must admit, I haven't got it here, but I've definitely got Tron on original cassette, VHS video, but it doesn't look like it's in with this box of goodies. But yeah, this was the NTSC, so it's the American release of Tron, and I was just looking to see if there was a date on it, and I can't see one. Absolutely fantastic, this, and there's a lot of great stuff that you may not have ever seen before. Certainly there was stuff that I'd not seen before, and I had no idea that they pretty much started working on Tron as soon as the Black Hole had wrapped, and a lot of the processes that they developed filming the Black Hole and making the Black Hole, Disney then incorporated when they put Tron together. So yeah, quite an interesting lot of extras on that. Now, I'm not sure how we're going to do for space on these, but this is, they did do a Tron comic when Tron had a bit of a revival leading up to the Tron 2.0 movie. And that's just a little promo booklet for the comic book series there, which is quite good. I have got those, but sadly, once again, not in with this box of Tron goodies yet. They're out with my normal comic collection. Now this one's quite nice. This is original vintage, and it's the UK Tron poster magazine, which is quite nice, London editions, and it folds that into that massive poster there. So that's really nice, isn't it? That's quite scarce. This one's open. This is a copy of Films and Filming, dated October 1982, and this one's got the making of Tron, basically, and also look at the career of David Cronenberg. So that's pretty cool, isn't it? Let's see if I can find the Tron, the coming of Tron, page 11 here. Here we are. There we are. So this is the article. Just a few pages there. I always remember reading an interview with Bruce Boxleiter, and obviously he was Captain Sheridan in Babylon 5, and he would say that he would be doing Babylon 5 conventions and people would be coming up to him with photos of him from Tron, and he had no idea that Tron would have such a long life after he'd actually finished filming it. Here are the original Don Ross cards, and they are absolutely fantastic. They're not in the best of sleeves, I have to say, but you get an idea of exactly what they're like and how cool they are, and they really are cool, these. I love the fact that each one's got the logo on the front, really brightly coloured. And this film was it was so groundbreaking, wasn't it, in its day, Tron, with the level of computer animation. Just fantastic. I think that card's particularly good there, with Jeff Bridges on. And then these are some of the sticker cards here as well. So this is from the arcade. This is the different levels of the arcade game, the light cycles, the IO tower, the tanks, and the light cycles. And there's one of the packets of the Tron there as well. So yeah, that's the original trading card set, but sadly never released in Britain. I don't know why. Probably because it was Don Ross, and at that time most of the trading cards in the UK were released by Topps Ireland. And then finally we've got a few records to get through. So here is the original soundtrack by Wendy Carlos. Contains Journey's Only Solutions, which is not a great track, but the actual Tron itself, the Tron soundtrack, I think is really, really great. Very, very memorable, and one of my favorite soundtracks. This particular one here, you'll see in the top corner here, it's got a property of CBS demonstration copy, not for sale. So this would have been one that was sent out to radio stations as like an advanced copy, so that's quite nice to have. And then we've got the story of Star Wars. So this is using music and dialogue from the movie, and they tell the story via LP record, and this also came out on cassette as well. And that's also quite good because it it was a way to relive the movie without, before the days of home video. As I said, this wasn't rushed out on home video by Disney. They took a few years before it came. I think about 86 or 87 before it finally got a release, and even then it was expensive. So this was the way to keep things active. And then the very last thing we've got, it's the story of Tron again, but it's a French edition. So got this from my friend Laurent over in France, and he still trades there today under the shop Happy Collector in Brest in Brittany, and he brought this one over. So this has come from him, and it does differ from, it's got the same front cover, but it's got a lovely gatefold here, like so. And it's got these two guys here, Igor and Grichnov Bogdanov, and these guys were like sci-fi gurus, and they also did some Doctor Who stuff around this time as well. But this is basically, you've got the read along to the story of Tron in French. So all the dialogue that's in there included is actually in French language, which is incredible, with pictures. So I think you've got to say this is probably unique to France. I can't imagine anything that's lavish coming out anywhere else. It's really something, isn't it? And then the back is completely unique again. So it's got 3 black hole ones there, which is really cool. I'd love to have any of that. I've got the American version of that, but these are the French editions with 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea as well. So all Disney properties on the back. And once again, dated 1982. I reckon that's pretty scarce, yeah, cool stuff. So there you go. I hope you've enjoyed this little look through my Tron collection. I've certainly enjoyed going through it today. If you have enjoyed today's video, do please give it a thumbs up. Do please consider subscribing to the channel for regular retro content similar to this. And I shall look forward to seeing you again very soon. Bye.